Hello friends, welcome to semester 3. Our next chapter is structure of pollen grain. In last lecture, you have understood structure of typical stamen and structure of tetrasporangiate anther. In this lecture, we are going to discuss structure of pollen grain. Let us know learning outcomes of this lecture, that is, after listening this lecture you will be able to understand the structure of pollen grain, then different parts and forms of pollen grain, then structure of exine and types of pollen grains. So in flowering plants, pollen mother cell in anther after meiosis gives rise to four mother cells. That is, four pollen grains are developed from single pollen mother cell after meiosis. The pollen grain is a male reproductive structure. Their arrangement in tetrad is different in different plant. They are either tetrahedral, isobilateral, decussate, T-shaped or linear. In this diagram you can see all these five types, that is tetrahedral, isobilateral, decussate, T-shaped and linear. Then in some plants, there are some exceptions. For example, in Symbopetalum, which is a member of family Annonaceae, the pollen grains shed in octads. It is reported by Su and Fu in 2007. Even sometimes they do not separate even at maturity, and even the tetrads are stuck together in groups which may contain as many as 64 pollen grains. Such groups are called as compound pollen grains. They are mostly found in Dremis, Annona, Acacia, Drosera, Typha, Elodia, etc. There are several examples are there. Now, in the family Asclepiadaceae and Orchidaceae, all pollen grains are in pollen sac are united in a single compact mass which is known as pollinium. Here, the structure of pollinium is you can find. In this structure of pollinia, you can see the disc at which there are two caudices, and at the tip of each caudicle you will find the pollinia. But in some members of Orchidaceae, the pollinium is less compact as comprises that the smaller groups of pollen grain. Such a loose groups of pollen grains are termed as maculae. Here I have shown you in the photograph, this is Calotropis and this is pollinia of Calotropis. These pollinia are present in corner of on the corner of this gynostagium. There are 10 pollinia, means 5 pollinia are there, and at in each pollinia pair of pollinium is found. Then this is another example of orchid, that is Habenaria longicorniculata. Here you can see the pollinia of that Habenaria species. So this is general structure of pollinia. Then in some members like Ericaceae and Empetraceae, the pollen grains are permanently united in tetrahedrons. Here I have shown you the image. I have taken this image from a book written by Altman in 1943, that is an introduction of pollen to pollen grain and pollen analysis. Okay, here you can see the Andromeda pilefolia. Okay, and this is Empetrum nigrum. Here the pollen grains are permanently united. Then let us see structure of pollen grain in detail. If you see the pollen grain, there are always two walls to the pollen grain, that is outer exine and inner intine. Then inside the pollen grain, you will find the generative cell and tube cell. Okay, the exine is always thick in nature while intine is thin in nature. The exine is not continuous. It is interrupted by small pore known as germopores. And at the time of pollen development, pollen tube development, the intine comes out in the form of pollen tube through this germ pore. So let us discuss one by one. Say the pollen grains in general, they are spherical in shape. Okay, they are either smooth walled or ornamented. Here you can see in some species there are smooth wall just like this, and in some species you can see this ornamentation. They are spiny, spinulose, verrucose. So many terminologies are there. Then the pollen wall, as I told you earlier, it is differentiated into outer exine and inner intine. The exine is generally thick and made up of sporopollenin. Then sporopollenin is an oxidative polymer of carotenoid and carotenoid ester. It is a tough substance that provides resistance to physical as well as biological decomposition, and it checks natural decay of pollen grain. The preservation of pollen grains during the process of fossilization is due to the presence of this sporopollenin. Now, the intine is pectocellulosic in nature. The insect pollinated species, the surface of pollen grain is covered by oily layer called as pollen kit. The sticky nature, color, smell of pollen grain is due to its presence. The substance is necessary for the synthesis of pollen kit are secreted by the tapetal cell. It is believed that the pollen kit helps in attracting insect. It protects pollen grain from ultraviolet radiation, and its a sticky nature help in sticking pollen grain to insect body. So there is not confirmed function of this pollen kit is not at present there. Okay. Now we will discuss the pollen wall in detail. Here you can see the pollen wall is divided into two layers, that is outer exine and inner intine. Then exine further divided into ectexine, which is also known as sexine, or endexine, which is also known as nexine. Further, this ectexine divided into three layers, that is tectum, baculum and foot layer. Here in this illustration, you can see the structure of pollen wall. Then this is outer tectum, then baculum, and this is foot layer. These three layers unite to form ectexine or sexine, which is followed by endexine. And inside these layers, you will find the intine. So this is structure of pollen wall in detail. Now, inside the pollen wall, the cytoplasm of pollen grain contain dictyosome, mitochondria, endoplasmic reticulum. The pollen grains are densely cytoplasmic as long as they are in tetrad. After they release from the tetrad, they enlarge and their cytoplasm becomes highly vacuolated. The mature pollen grain contain proteins, carbohydrate, fat, ash, water, etc. Now, this is the image of light microscopy. I have told you that the exine may be smooth walled or ornamented. Here you can see this is smooth walled exine. There is no ornamentation. While in this image you can see the ornamentation. Now, based on types of pollen grain, there are two basic types of families or genera are there, that is either Euripallinus or Stenopallinus. When Euripallinus is treated, Euripallinus means in single family or single genera, you will find the variations in pollen grain. Here you can see the pollen grains of convolvuli. See, these are SCM images. Okay, I have taken these images for the purpose of my research work. Here you can see the spiny pollen grains. Then there is variation in spine also. Then this is pollen grain without spines. Then there are number of aperture, there is variation also. Here you can see the 5 apertures, here 3, here 4. Okay, likewise in single family there is so much variation. Such a family or genus is called as Euripallinus type, while I will show you another example, that is the Stenopalinus type. Means in this type, the pollen grains are of same type. There is no morphological differentiation in pollen grains. Such a kind of family or genus is treated as a Stenopalinus type. These are the pollen grains of Begonia species. I have taken these images also for purpose of my research work, and here you can see there is no much variation or morphological differentiation in these pollen grains. So this genus is treated as a Stenopalinus type. I hope with the help of this presentation you have understood the structure of pollen grain in detail. Okay, thank you very much for listening me patiently. Thank you.